So you hardly ever see a mouse. They suck, I guess, then. Sort of. Because they're really kind of late World War II design. And they fight against tanks from the 60s. You know. Doesn't do much for balance when you do that kind of shit. Which is what this game does. So yeah, people don't tend to play it much. Basically, let me just extrapolate it or explain that a little bit further. Basically, yeah, what will happen with the mouse is you've got a tank that can only do 12.9 miles an hour. That weighs, 188 tons, yeah? And has decent armour against solid projectiles and Hesh. Hesh will struggle against that unless you get behind it. You can pen it with the Chieftain's Hesh from the rear. Everywhere else, though, you'll have problems. What's it called? It's Hesh. The FE 4005s, that'll go through this pretty much everywhere. And it can't do anything about it. The ATGMs in game will pen this pretty much at any angle and wreck it with a single ATGM. But yeah, I mean, HEFS will just mess this up basically, and it's big. The mouse is freaking massive. It's probably the biggest tank in game, I guess, and therefore the biggest target. And although its armor is slow, that means nothing to Heat. Means nothing to the Hesh. But Hesh, like I say, has been kind of messed with and won't really do much unless you get right behind it with the Chieftain or the Conqueror. The FE 4005, though, just point and click at anything and it disappears. E100 is a lot better just because of the side skirts. No, well, not really, champ, because they can be removed. You shoot one Hesh round at them and they disappear. One heat round will take one off as well. And then you've not got side skirts. If you know what I mean. And to be honest, you don't, if you can see the 100, you can shoot the turret, so you take the gun out first anyway. If you've got heat, then you can punch through that turret no problem at all. And that means that he's got no armament to shoot you. I mean, basically, they need to rework this matchmaker quite substantially and put stuff like that. Well, pretty much anything really with HEFS should be like tier 6. And late World War II designs or paper designs for World War II should probably sit in at tier 5. So like Panther 2 should be down here. I mean, to be honest, effectively speaking, Tiger 2H could possibly sit down there, but I mean, we're talking theoretically at the moment because this isn't, something that they will change overnight. They should do. This matchmaker is and is the bane of this game. It's the reason why you don't really see a lot of people playing top tier tanks is because top tier tanks is so. And the other thing as well about top tier tanks is the grind is immense. I mean, I'm working on just tier 4s there for the British. Japanese stuff, tier 5s right there. That's 760,000 RP to get both of those vehicles. Alright? To get a jet in this game, say I wanted to research the Sabre, I think that's what, 200,000 RP? 200,000. That's tier 5 9.0 jet. That's a tier 5, and that's tier 5. That's 8.0 battle range. It's got a lower battle range, but it costs more RP to get it. Basically, Gaijin are screwing over the people that play tanks all of the time. That's the way they do it. Oh, that, and obviously the grind as well. Because basically, this is where it gets really fun. Once you've got one of these vehicles, like this for example, I've got this vehicle, the Swingfire, right? I don't really play ATGMs that much, because they're pretty easy mode point and click adventure shit. And The swing fire is actually broken. It's one of the worst ATGMs in game. The only one that's worse is, in my opinion, is for the Japanese. And it's pants. Especially on the maps that Gaijin have put into the game, which are arcade size maps. There's one or two that are full, large areas or maps, even. But yeah, I mean, they could rebalance this entire thing down at the top tier, and it would make things a lot easier. Well, easier balanced is what I'd say. That needs APDS. If that gets APDS, that should be like 6.7, 7.0. Because the APDS for that gun is the same APDS as, let's see, Charioteer, the Carnarvon, the Centurion Mark III. All three tanks are at a higher battle rate. And they've all got the same gun, but that doesn't get APDS because reasons. The reasons being balance. Basically, they needed a 6.0 non-premium tank for the British. They gave them one, which is that, which shouldn't be there. That should be, like I say, 6.7, 7.0, and it should have a APDS as well. End of story. Right, next case. Okay. Balance-wise, as I was saying, with rebalancing like post-war shit versus World War II shit, to be honest, that shouldn't even be at 6.7. It should be way down here somewhere. It's, I mean, they basically, like I say, they punish the player base to grind and play tanks. And then they wonder why this game's not so popular. It's like, well, let's see. Right, you give massive RP grinds to get all the way down here. You get less RP in tank battles than you do in air battles. Anything, what else? Then you also put parts as a actual module. And FP as another module. And then you also do other things such as, I don't know, let's have a look, shall we? You put belts as modules. And default belts, obviously, we all know how good they are in this game. What else do they do? They put post-war tanks at a lower battle rate than World War II tanks. Constantly. That's one for the British right there. I mean, to be honest, Carnarvon is, Centurion is, Tortoise isn't. That's actually a World War II design. That is. And then you look at, the Germans, for example. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing for the Russians, I have to say. In certain respects, you've got the IS-2s down at 6.3. They'll happily fight against 6.3s and 6.7s in this battle rating system. Yeah. If they put the battle ratings up to like 10.0 for the top tier stuff, so Chieftain is at 10.0, Swing Fire is at 10.0, that shouldn't actually, that should probably be 9.0 considering how effective it is at the moment, or even 7.0. And then work downwards from that. It's going to give breathing space between the post-war stuff and the World War II stuff. But yeah, we don't have that kind of option. I'm kind of tempted to do a what's it called? A single player mission. If I can, this is the thing, and make it so that either do actual dedicated missions, i.e., like real life battles, or to basically try and fix the matchmaking. Done. But your cube times, champ. That is their counter argument. And every time they compress the matchmaker because there's less players playing the game, that is still their argument. It's the wrong argument. It's a shit argument, is what I'm saying. They need to basically either come up with a better reason for their reason to compress it even further, because they probably will, knowing Gaijin, for queue times reasons. And then we're going to be in an even bigger mess as far as balance goes. Personally, I'd rather we had longer queue times and more balanced gameplay than what we have at the moment, which is short queue times and shit gameplay. for a more, diplomatic phrase or word. The maps themselves don't lean towards realistic battle, they don't lean towards simulator battle. Instead, we're stuck on these shitty arcade maps. And, yeah. Arcade game mechanics, capture the flag. You get that in simulator battle. Simulator battle, as real as it's going to get in this game, and you've got capture the flag mechanics. What is it? I don't know. Medal of Honor airplanes. Tanks. They need to do something about it. It's as simple as that. I mean, 63,000 players online. Their record for this game was over 120,000. That's double what's in game at the moment. And this is, what, a week after the patch? Less than a week after the patch? I mean, if that doesn't ring alarm bells at Gaijin HQ, I don't think much will, other than maybe the air raid sirens when Trump decides to nuke Russia.